This is The Prince, written by Italian diplomat, philosopher, and owner of a rather fetching robe, Niccolò Machiavelli. The Prince is aimed at helping rulers do one thing: gain and hold on to power. Let's return to what Machiavelli respects in a ruler. And there is one thing that stands out above all else. He respects power and competence above all else. You need power to get anything done. You could have the cleanest soul in existence, but if you can't get anything done, then you may as well be Satan for all the positive impact you'll have on the world. In his view, there is no greater aim a ruler should strive for than personal power.
This video has more than 500,000 views, so I found it important to make this video. Most scholars have criticized Machiavelli's The Prince, calling it the work of a teacher of evil. In fact, the church even banned it. Debates about Machiavelli have always focused on not so much why he wrote The Prince, but for whom. Was it for the princes, or for those who wanted to resist him? In the 18th century, Diderot argued that it was the former, saying Machiavelli was teaching the powerful a detestable sort of politics that can be captured in 3 words: the art of tyranny. But Rousseau, in The Social Contract, disagreed. Machiavelli wasn't teaching tyrants. They always knew what to do. Instead, he was warning the people about what they should fear. In 1978, Skinner, in his book Foundation of Modern Political Thought, offered a new interpretation of The Prince. Most people believe that The Prince is a unique work in a class of its own. Skinner, however, argues that it's actually a recognizable contribution to the genre of advice books for rulers. And in fact, it subverts the genre and serves as a radical critique. For instance, Bartolomeo Sacchi's book ends with advice on war strategies for a prince's victory. Giovanni Potano's book focuses on the princely virtues of majesty, offering guidance on how a prince should act, aiming to refine existing values. And Francesco Patrisi's book advises kings on living their final day with honesty, valuing a virtuous life over concerns about their burial. Machiavelli's work challenges the Christian belief that a prince must always follow virtues like justice, generosity, prudence, temperance, mercy, and honesty to preserve his power and achieve lasting glory. Instead, Machiavelli suggests that a prince tries to maintain his power through whatever means necessary. Machiavelli dedicated The Prince to Medici. This seems to disprove the democratic theory. However, many scholars believe that this praise was strategic rather than being totally genuine. After all, the Medici had recently imprisoned and tortured Machiavelli following the collapse of the Florentine Republic. One of the strongest pieces of evidence supporting this democratic theory comes from another book, Machiavelli's Discourses on Livy. It states that we have seen from experience that states have grown in land and wealth only if they are free. The greatness that Athens achieved within a century of liberating itself from the tyranny of Pisistratus is astonishing, and even more astonishing the greatness that Rome achieved after it freed itself from its kings. Besides this, one finds that cities in which the populace is the prince in a very short time extend vastly their dominion, much more than do those which have always been under a prince, as Rome did after the expulsion of the kings, and Athens after it was free of Pisistratus. This can only be due to one thing: government by the populace is better than government by the princes. To be fair, there's no correct interpretation of Machiavelli. However, given the evidence, this interpretation certainly deserves attention.